Okay, welcome also from my side to the 6th Innovation Day. My name is Elmar Kubatta and I'm the product owner of Symbio. And I will explain to you today our approach to continuous delivery. First of all, I would like to tell you something general about continuous delivery and its differentiation from related topics. And then explain our approach to Symbio and the benefits it brings to you. In general, continuous delivery is the ability to get changes of all types, including new features, configuration changes, bug fixes, and experiments into production safely and quickly in a sustainable way. So we have not longer any testing or hardening phase, because the idea is the product is on every time as stable as possible to deploy it directly to a productive environment. Our goal is to make deployments predictable, routine affairs that can be performed on demand. So that means when every step is automated, and since every step is automated, we have few errors can occur. I think that's clear. When you do things manually, you can make a lot of failures, and then that will not happen if you have for everything automation. And the third point, we achieve all this by ensuring our code is always in a deployable state. I said that already, even in the face of different teams of developers making changes on a daily basis. So we eliminate something that is called integration or hardening phase, that traditionally followed dev complete or something like code freeze, because we do our changes as much as possible directly in the production, that the changes are so small that there will no risk for you. But I will explain it later in detail. Let me briefly explain the difference between continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. You will see the continuous delivery and deployment are very similar, but first of all, continuous integration, that is what we already do. We build our software directly after a developer check in his code, and we had a lot of unit tests in our code. I don't know, are thousands of unit tests, and when everything is done, this deployment will deploy to a stage, a dev stage or internal stage, and on this stage our acceptance tests, that could be manual tests, that could also be load tests, or also more and more automated UI tests to accept in the end a feature or a release. And then when we go the next step, this continuous delivery, what means that? That is that we also automate the deployment process to the production. So for example, in our cloud, I think you know this, we use Azure, and you can automate everything. So create a virtual machine or create app service for your application and deploy that, and then it will run automatically. And also our updates we do can be automated. So when a new feature, or not even a new feature, new check-in from a developer is done, this whole line will go directly yeah, in the end through this point in the continuous delivery status, and then when any person click or trigger the deployment, it will automatically deployed to the production. So that is also the difference from continuous deployment. You see this step in continuous deployment will also be automated, but that is not what we want to do right now. I will explain it a little bit more in detail on my next slide when you see yeah, our Symbio approach for this continuous delivery topic. I will say often these different yeah, topics will be mixed up, and yeah, when you, for example, add also the operate part, then someone say this is DevOps, for example, but yeah, the relationship to DevOps is, I will say, yeah, this is a little bit different. Yeah, DevOps has a broader scope and centers around the culture change to the whole company. Yeah, we also use this, I will say, approach of DevOps, but nevertheless, today we want to talk more about this continuous delivery and continuous deployment part. And yeah, I think you will find a lot of information also in the internet. And yeah, I think I hope this general information is enough to understand in general what this is. So let us go to our next slide, and here I will explain you a little bit more in detail how it will work for Symbio, and in the end how will affect it to you as a customer. On the left side, you see our different environments. We have already, or we will build up. We change a little bit the names regarding to our new price levels. It will be separate in standard, professional, and enterprise price levels. And yeah, we also, that's clear, have an internal environment and also a public test environment. This is our first stage here on this slide. And yeah, I don't know if that is already clear, but all of the stages are productive. Yeah, you don't have any longer a separate test environment or something like that, because the plan is that the software is so good that you can directly deploy it to a productive environment. Yeah. On the bottom here, you can see yeah, our continuous delivery steps. That means every week, that is the actual plan. Yeah, maybe we will do it not every week on the beginning. Maybe in future we will do it more often, but nevertheless there is a continuous delivery. That means we will deliver our software to all stages, for example, every week. Yeah, the environments will always be updated. That's clear. And yeah, if we have, for example, a critical bug, and we found that here in our internal environment, it's clear we can stop the deployment to the next stage. Yeah, for example, when we found a bug here on this deployment, we will not deploy that that release to the next stage, and this bug will not include here in this stage. But I would say it's normal. It's a software product. We have a lot of bugs, and a lot of them are are not critical, I will say. So also for the bugs, it's the same. If we fix a bug, yeah, we will first of all we will deploy it to our internal environment or also to a public. You can also access this environment for testing. And yeah, when everything is okay, 1 week later, this software release will deploy to our standard environment. And if we have no problems with this fixed bug, yeah, then we will deploy it to the next stage. Yeah, for example, this professional, and 3 weeks later, from our internal stage, it is all also deployed to the enterprise stage. It's clear if we have a really critical bug, then we can also deploy it directly to all stages. But I don't know, in the past, it is not very often necessary that you need to do something like that. That is only if, for example, the system is not available regarding a software change. But yeah, as you see here, normally if you have something like this, that the software is not available or the product is not available in general, you will be aware you will be aware of it very early, because we also use our product here on the first stage. So, and yeah, let me now explain a little bit more what will we do with new features, because maybe you are now thinking, oh, they will deploy every week a new version of Symbio, and maybe it can be that we have every week a new feature in our product. Okay, in real life there will be not a new feature in every week. It will be as, I don't know, as today, I don't know, right now we have 5 or Michael present 5 new features from the last version, or I think it was from the last 2 versions. So I don't know, 1 feature per month or something like this is our, or 2 features per month is our actual development speed. But these features will not be activated automatically. Yeah? For that, we have this feature flags Michael explained before. Yeah? And this feature flags have different states, as he explained shortly. So the first state will be an experimental state. Yeah? So that means at the earliest possible point, we want to deploy a new feature to our productive environments. Yeah? And in this experimental state, yeah, we can test, as me as a stakeholder, or as you as a stakeholder, can test this feature as the earliest possible moment. And experimental means that there's no data loss when using this feature, but there are still some changes that can be made, for example, to the UI. These features can be used, yeah, as I said, by you, and yeah, you can give us some feedback as soon as possible. This features, that is our actual idea, but I will say that is not discussed to the end, will be not activable in the standard professional or enterprise stages. Yeah, but maybe in future we will also allow this, that they can be activated in these stages. So after a certain time, and that's clear, it can be longer than 2 weeks, but to make this slide not too complicated, I say after 2 weeks, this experimental feature changed the state to preview. So the stakeholders and I don't know, maybe some customers who was part of this development say, okay, the general requirements are fulfilled, and then this feature will be changed to the previous state. And in this state, yeah, you can use it in all your productive environments. That means it's not necessary, or it's not the plan that you activate this preview features in your productive database. So you can easily create a new database in Symbio. I think you know this, or I think most of you have more than one database, and it is easy to create a sandbox database or something like this. And in this sandbox database, you can activate a preview feature or also a productive feature, that make no difference, to play a little bit around with this new feature. And when you say, okay, it's good enough for my users, then as an administrator, you can activate the feature for your whole database. Maybe in future, we will also provide features that can be activated by a normal end user. Yeah, for example, I don't know, a white or a black colored interface or something like this. Or maybe we will also develop features in future that can be deactivated by an end user. But for now, the plan is administrator of Symbio, a database administrator, can activate or deactivate a feature for the whole database. So, and yeah, I think it's clear. After a certain time, the feature is set to the status productive. This means that this feature is also officially maintained. And yeah, once again, new features are never activated automatically. So you can decide yourself when you activate a feature. Yeah, so yeah, as an end user, that's clear. As our changes are as small as possible, and everything is automated, also this deployment process, the downtime will be reduced to a minimum, and it will be due yeah, in the night or on the weekend. That's clear, but in future you will not realize that the software is updated in the background, because yeah, the changes are so small and it is so fast. Yeah, for our internal environment, maybe one additional information here: we already use, or we will use, this automatic or this continuous deployment. So in this first environment, we deploy every night a new version automatically. So, and for all other versions, for our yeah, selling versions, I will say, we will start with a continuous delivery approach. That means we trigger that from our development, and after trigger, this automatic deployment will be done in a night or on the weekend, but everything automated. Okay, so the next slide, it is already my last slide, is what are your benefits of continuous delivery? Yeah, I think the most important one is the first one. You don't have to take care of upgrades anymore. So I think a lot of you, I will say, have a lot of work with upgrades, and maybe there are some emotions when we release a new version, and we test a lot, and that is why is it so hard, or such a big thing? That is why we have do it not really often. Yeah, if we, for example, we have customers, they only update his version, I don't know, every half a year or something like this, or every 8 months, I don't know. That's clear. If you wait so long, then it is our own project. You need to test everything. It is a big upgrade from one version to a next version, and it is a big risk to upgrade a version like this. When we do it every week, or maybe in the future, I don't know, maybe next week when we talk again, we will maybe do it every day, I don't know. Then I think it's clear that the changes are much smaller, and it is less complex to make changes in that way. And even we have a critical failure or an upgrade is not working, it is much easier to roll back a small change, because it can only be the work from 1 week, I would say, and it is much easier to find this problem when we have a problem, as we found the failure from a half year or something like this. So that is, I think, as I said, the most important point. So the second point, the product gets better. Okay, why gets the product better? That is, if you're releasing new features early and often, even in a minimally viable state, means you get more frequent feedback, or we get in the end more frequent feedback. Also, maybe you as I would say manager of Symbio get more frequent feedback from your customers. So we want to learn from your feedback, and I hope you want to learn from your customer feedback or from your colleagues, and so we can easily, or we can consider this feedback, and can change our products more often. And you as a customer will be a development partner, I would say, for us in this approach. So the third point is that the quality will increase. That's clear. I said this already. When developers have automated tools that discover regressions within minutes, teams are free to focus their effort on user research and higher level testing activities, such as explorability testing, or usability testing, and performance and security testing. And I think, that's a plan. If we invest our time to this more and more to automated UI tests or to automated load tests, it's clear that it will be increase the quality. And have in mind, we have no longer different versions on our side. We do that only in one version. That is our actual version, I would say. So when we fix the bug, there's no longer a question, do we fix the bug in 1812 or in 1904 or in whatever you have for a version? We already fix the bug in the actual version, and you will have already the actual version on your side. So, and the last point, yeah, anytime the most recent version is available for you, I think it's a little bit similar to the other points, but it's clear we have a faster time to market possibility, and yeah, also, for example, if you found or if you have a security issue, it will be much faster in yeah, in your product or in our product, and in the end, the product, the security of the product will also increase in the end. Okay, that was the explanation about continuous delivery. I will say we are in the beginning of that. Yeah, we start when we go back to this slide before. We already have this first environment here. We make some changes on that in the next weeks, but most of that is done. And yeah, I will say when we feel good with that, we will all, start with the next stage. I cannot say it will be done in 4 weeks or 6 weeks. It is in the end not so important, because when we start even with right now with a longer period of this continuous delivery, and maybe with a more manual update process right now, the plan is definitely to decrease the time, because when you decrease the time between one deployment or one delivery to the next delivery, as I explained, you reduce the complexity, and everything will be easier for us, and everything will be better for you.